going to waste this good shit without us being recorded. I need proof of what's happening. Hi, I'm Melinda McKinsey.
And I'm Tom Wise.
And Tom and I were debating before we went on air about the wage gap. My stance is that there is one, and Tom's stance is that I'm just pulling shit out of my ass and basing everything on my feelings. So,
you know what? We may have, the argument may be framed incorrectly, is what I was thinking. Perhaps we're thinking about this differently.
Maybe I've said it wrong.
No, I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but the framing may be incorrect.
How would you correct the framing, sir?
Well, I'm saying, yes, there's 17 old white lawyers making a shitload of money versus the 2 female lawyers making a nice living. Yeah, and so they're going to be, as a group, making $36 million, and they're, as a group, making $2 million. Well, yeah, there's a huge gap, but it doesn't mean that you're getting paid differently for the same labor.
But that's not what I'm talking about. Right. I think this is why you and I are struggling with understanding each other. This is a good example of relationships and how if you can't get on the same wavelength, that it causes a baseball bat. I mean, you poison the man is what you do until he gets complacent and listens. Here's my stance, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time because we have a very interesting guest coming up. Oh, please. Now I'm going to take all the time I want, sir.
Yeah, that's wasting time already.
I sent Tom some information this morning about the wage gap that Biden has
Biden. Why
recognized.
Do you bring him into it?
Yeah. So real
I got a check that says I'm right here.
And the other thing is, like I was telling Tom, I've had several women message me about their particular circumstances. And again, I want to emphasize, this is not about some old white guy who's been in an industry forever and a lady walks in and goes, pay me the same wage. So let's make that clear.
All right.
I'm talking level to level, same, but the lady gets paid less, even though they're the same. That's what I'm talking about.
And we're still waiting on examples.
So the House of Representatives is passed the Paycheck Fairness Act. It says, this is from Biden, closing the gender pay gap is more than just an economic imperative. It's a moral imperative as well. 12 years ago, when President Obama and I came into office, the very first law that we enacted was the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. It was and is an important tool, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here are the numbers because you like numbers, and I'm going out of my comfort zone and explaining it in a way that makes you comfortable. Ready, sir?
Yes.
More than 90% of occupants, women in the working industry, women are still earning less than men. This is from current day. This is not from something Biden said 20 years ago. For every dollar, the typical man who works full-time, full year in America, a woman earns 82 cents. For Black women, it's 63 cents. Native American women, it's 60 cents. For Hispanic women, it's 55 cents. He goes on about the gaps. I don't want to read the whole thing.
Nobody wants you to read it either. Can I explain it? I have a simple explanation.
Go.
Men are in jobs that pay higher money.
So you're saying the numbers are only showing what
I'm
the
saying
gap is because men make more because they're in higher paying jobs overall. That's an interesting slant. I'm not buying it.
Well, it's the truth.
Well, it's your truth.
No, it's a fact.
Based on what? Show me.
I'm saying because, well, we got all those old white guys in legal firms and Bear Stearns and Morgan and this and that. And those guys, old guys, are making a shitload of cash, and women aren't even in that club. Now, I'm going to say the old boy club probably still exists, where I'm going to bring in more old white guys to make a shitload of money. And we're going to bring in just a couple of women just to kind of talk, hey, we'll throw in a black guy. So now we got 13 guys at the table. 11 are old white guys, 1 white woman and 1 black guy. All right. Well, you do the math on that. Yeah, there's a huge pay gap, between the women and men. But I'm saying Walmart worker or HSN worker or CTA bus driver versus another one with the same experience and they're getting paid the same.
Here's where I feel like here's what I hear you saying as my therapist tells me to start out any kind of conversation, is that you're believing that all the information I've been giving you and all the numbers I'm giving you are based on this slant.
Let's just take a old white guy versus a black woman, right?
Okay.
Who's probably more highly educated? Who's probably got a master's degree?
Well, I don't know the statistics on that at all.
What does your gut tell you?
I have absolutely no idea what the statistics are on that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, probably the old white guy's got a master's degree, and he's making $210,000 a year. The black woman, she's working retail, making $37,000 a year. The pay gap is huge.
But that's not.
That's exactly what you're talking about. I'm talking about job for job. This guy and this guy. You're talking about this woman's going to tap out at 38 grand a year. This guy's making 200 grand a year. The pay gap is huge, but it's not for the reasons that you're saying. It's not.
I can hear why you would misunderstand what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead and explain why I'm wrong on that. On my deal thought.
The point that you just made was based on your assumptions of what the statistics are on something.
Yeah.
That's your assumption.
So you're saying that black women and white men are equally educated in the same numbers. Harvard, Yale, UCLA. You're saying it's all, no one's can know. How do we know?
I don't know what the gap is.
Maybe there's more black women with master's degrees.
I don't know.
There you go. Well, unless we know, we can't then there's no comparing apples to apples. We have to know who's in the basket.
I understand that we're going to have different opinions just because my experiences are different than your experience.
I'm saying you're denying that the basket is dominated by white men that are probably highly educated or have more education.
I'm saying I don't know what the gap is between white men and everybody else on education. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to something that I don't know, but I will also tell you on top of that, I've had women reach out to me, someone working in professional sports, someone else working in a medical facility. Both had stories, current day stories, especially the one in the medical facility said she was offered a job, they're parallel. She said, that was the word she used, they're parallel. She was offered the job that he left. And she said, well, I'm already doing this job. And they said, oh, but you're going to get more because you're taking his position. It's the same job. Do you know what I'm saying? So there are plenty of instances. I think we don't read about them, or maybe you don't hear about them, because I understand what you're saying is you're saying, oh, someone with more education is getting paid more. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is I believe there are still plenty of men and women that are on the same level, and that women are still getting paid less just based on their sex, not based on anything else.
But you're saying that but where's any proof?
Okay, well,
I was sitting yesterday. I met a woman yesterday. We talked about it. She told me that she became the highest paid employee in the entire company yesterday in her whole.
Well, then that means she represents the entire world, and you're right.
I'm just saying, there's another. I'm right there having a conversation. Highest paid, it's higher paid than any man,
and that's great. But that she doesn't represent,
of course,
everybody.
So
we're going to agree to disagree. I think that I'm right. And that's where I'm going to stand on this. I don't know what time it is, but I want to talk a little bit about our guests.
We got 4 minutes.
Comes on. Okay. So this will be your first time meeting Greg, and Greg has this really great story. I think I met him about 10 years ago, and he is now, how about that? He is now running for the mayor of Albany, New York. And I want him to share the story about why he is running for mayor, but it'd be interesting to see you two talk because his background is entertainment. His family has been in Albany 78 years. They're very well known and respected, but his background is entertainment like yours is. You both do stand-up comedy. So I think that'll be very interesting for you guys to share.
Mine is a hobby. He sounds like he's been a professional doing this for a long time.
He has. He's taught people. He's done some amazing things. He does a killer Al Pacino impression. So you'll have to have him. He's got some videos that are kind of well known on the internet where he does these parody things with Al Pacino, and it's fantastic. So I'll be very excited for you guys to talk. Before Greg comes on, is there any other topic you want to go over?
Oh, I had something in my head when I sat down. Now you got me all flustered about this pay wage thing. Consarn it.
Consarn it.
Dag nabbit.
Was it about women or dating?
I'm sure there's something very positive to say about women.
um, I'm trying
Look,
to.
I put a shirt on to dress up for your guest.
I know. I'm really happy about that. I want to ask you real quick before Greg comes on.
Yes, ma'am.
I did see something, and I want to get your opinion on this. There's a man on TikTok that will occasionally go up to homeless people, and he'll say, "What do you need today? What can I do for you today?" Or what, one guy said, "Hey, it's my birthday." And he goes, "What would you want for your birthday?" And the guy says, "Well, I've never done anything I've never been on the water." So this guy, now the video is only on the homeless guy, takes him on the water, does all the stuff. So I'm reading the comments, and people were saying, "Oh, really? You can't just do that without recording it?"
People are miserable. People are idiots. I was looking at a billboard that said 93% of our patients recommend our doctors, right?
Yeah.
What is other 7%? You get people that just, 4 out of 5. You get people that you go to Amazon. Nobody gets 5 stars on everything anymore, because there's always, you know what? I just didn't like the postman gave me a look when he handed me my package. I didn't like that. So I get affected by that.
Yes.
People are jackasses.
I thought so too, because I thought, you know what, this guy's doing such a great job, and other people did say, and this is the line, this is the side I think you and I are on, is, hey, he's trying to show people how easy this is to do. He's showing an example.
I know.
Go out and reach out to people, do wonderful things.
Sitting on your ass
and going, no.
Well, there's that classic meme where the fat kid sitting on the couch with his, bowl of popcorn.
Okay.
He's watching the Miss America in bathing suits, and he's going, nose is too big, I
think we've always been that way. I just think it's more prevalent now. More people have more time.
No, right? now everybody gets a voice. Everybody gets to ruin your business. Hey, Greg's here.
Oh, good. Greg is here.
Come on in. Don't cue the music. We have a guest.
Cue the music, and then I'll introduce you guys. There he is.
Hey,
Greg.
How's it going?
Good.
Hey, Greg,
we're so excited to talk to you today. I want to introduce you to Tom Wise.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Greg.
Wise also does stand-up comedy.
A little bit.
He was at HSN for 30 years. Oh, let me talk. He was at HSN for 30 years. He's also an inventor. So I think you guys would have interesting things to discuss. But I want to get right into your background, Greg, because I love your story, and I'm so excited for you, and we want to support you however we can. So can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, thanks so much. Tom, it's nice to meet you. And Melinda, it's nice to see you again. It's awesome. And brief history. I've been in entertainment for 20 years. Well, let me start here. I'm from Albany, New York. My family's been doing business in Albany since 1943. My grandfather came from Sicily, Italy, and started Quail Auto Sales, which my father and brother still run to the day. And, I started in entertainment 20 years ago in stand-up, rooted in stand-up. And 2 years in, I started producing shows. Growing up in a family business, I wanted a business of my own and create more stage time. And I saw a lot of nonsense on the road like ill business. So I said, let me try to bring a positive sense of business with juxtaposed with levity to entertainment as a whole. So I started producing shows, and it really started to take off. Yeah. And early on, I was sponsored by Budweiser for 10 years. And they were great to me because they paid for all my promo material and then ads. And that was great. And then I started landing on radio, and then started being interviewed and whatnot. In 2005, I formed my entertainment company, which is Radio Gauge Entertainment. 2006, I launched the Brouhaha Comedy Showcase, which is a 90-minute touring show. It's actually one of the longest running in the United States. And that consists of, most of my friends were in New York City, and we all have television credits. And then in 2008, I got my first agent for TV and film. And then that started breaking out to where I started landing on Lifetime Movie Network. I was on MTV in January. I've done Sirius XM radio a couple of times. I've done regional New York, Connecticut morning radio. I've also, what I'm really excited about is 6 years ago at my high school in upstate New York, I formed the Knock Knock Who's There Scholarship. And that goes to students going into college for the arts. And so that's one thing I'm really, really, I like the most, because I like meeting the students and see what their plans are for the future. And then I started, that's the brief background. That's the long story short with entertainment. So it's been fun though, entertainment. Like I've performed with Seinfeld and Colin Quinn and Dave Attell, and it's been a great ride. And then, so this is what happened to what, and I appreciate you guys wanted to know about this kind of a pivot shift.
Yeah.
So where my family's business is located, actually, I'm looking out over, because we own apartments on the property, and it's in the West Hill section of Albany, New York, and it's an area that was the most affluent, one of the most affluent areas in the capital city, and it's just fallen on hard times over the years. And my grandfather's wish when he came from Italy and started business is that we don't move, we stay committed to the neighborhood. No matter what. Right. And so my father has adhered to that. So what happened is this: 3 years ago, the first murder in 2018 happened in front of our business. Okay. I'll pause there for a moment, because a sense of pride in our family is that block is renamed after our last name, Aidala. And we're really proud of that. And so the first murder occurred, and it was a drive-by. And one of the stray bullets missed my father's office by 7 feet. Wow. And it hit the daycare, which is next door to me, that way, which is north. And it was really scary. So I was on the road at that time, and I came back and I said to my father, I said, I'm going to email City Hall. I'd really like to sit down with them, see how we can, discuss these issues, and how perhaps I could use, I'm a certified coach, a life coach and business coach as well. So perhaps I can inject some of these ways that I know with coaching and try to mentor more. And I don't want to dime from the city. Let's see how we can do that, extend the olive branch. So I sent an email and just, introducing ourselves, and I didn't hear back. And it was 3 months. I didn't hear a word back from City Hall. So what I did was I got, that fired me up a little bit, because my sense of community and the way I grew up, I'm one of 8 kids. I'm Italian, Irish, Catholic. And so, and it's very communicative. So after 3 months of not hearing anything, I got my friends, a film crew together, and I started making docuseries about what was happening. And I just basically made a plea to the elected officials, because no one showed up. Yeah. And I mean, no one, and this happens all over the United States. Sure. And that really vexed me. Like, that doesn't seem, that's just not community to me at all. Like, all you have to do is show up in life, right? No matter what it is, stand up, right. Being a TV host, any job, you have to show up. It's 2/3 of life. And that really irritated me. But I didn't get mad. I didn't raise my fist. I didn't yell. I simply just stated the facts to maybe what was not being reported. Well, when I made that and I dropped it in April of 2018, within a half hour, City Hall called.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And yeah. And they said, well, the mayor would like to meet with you. And I said, okay, that's great. I said, what happened? Why did it take 3 months? And they said, we lost your email. And that's true, by the way. She said that on tape. And to which I responded, if you're losing my email, what else is being lost at City Hall? Because to me, there's no accountability there. Yeah. And it's kind of egregious. It just doesn't make sense to me. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
So my father and I met with the mayor and the chief of police at the time. We had a good meeting. I went in actually with a nice written up form of ideas how I could help. And I studied different parts of the country that were having problems, and how maybe we could pool these together and work as more of a community. And she said, I really like these ideas. I'm gonna have my people get in touch with you. And never heard back. So
she lost her typical people.
Yeah, right. It's typical, and it doesn't make sense to me, because I went into this very naive in the way of, well, I thought, hey, this is community. This is how we talk through it.
Right.
It really starts opening up when you start to see what's going on in government. Throughout the states and global. It's a mess. Yeah. Never heard from them. And then what I did was I was still, active in my career and very transient, always, moving around, and always brought my showcase back to my hometown to introduce my hometown to, late night comedians that really great and just bring a positive, fun energy.
Yeah.
So then last summer, Up to Speed is when things got crazy, right? And so what happened in Albany, there were more shootings. It was a record year. There was 131 shootings and 17 homicides. And we actually outpaced, it's nothing to be proud of, and on par with Chicago.
Wow.
And it's funny because the mayor's from Chicago, right? The mayor of Albany is from Chicago.
Okay.
The chief of police is from Michigan.
Wow.
Like the DGS supervisors from Jersey. So it's all these carpetbaggers that don't have accountability. Right. And it really started to irritate me because they told the police to stand down. They didn't want anything. And I said, well, that's kind of wrong because the first order of government globally is to protect their citizens.
Yeah.
How can you not protect livelihoods and people? These are stray bullets.
Yeah.
So I started doing more docuseries on this.
Okay.
I had film crews with me. But I only state the facts. I don't yell. It's just, it's, and I want to have fun. So what I did with that is I also showcased positive elements of this tough section of Albany. And to give you an example of how the area is, it has a 19% high school graduation rate.
Ugh.
Wow.
Okay. All right. And they're more concerned about, grabbing power and, grift, as opposed to let's stop painting rust. Let's get to the fundamental issues.
Amen.
Right. So I start making this series, and over the past 3 years, the media in Albany trust me with TV and radio because I'm not going out yelling. I'm just literally stating facts. Yeah. And when did it become bad for citizens to hold elected officials accountable?
Right.
I thought this is what community is about, right?
Right.
So I started making, and it irritated them even more.
Yes.
And I said, well, I'm not going to stop because you talk about lifting people up, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, everything looks good on paper, but you have to walk the streets, right? So what happened was, and this is what got me. And believe me, I didn't think a year ago I'd be in this position. Although over the past 3 years, people had said, you got to run for office. You got to run for office. And I'm like, I don't have the time. I'm 47 years old. Yeah. I've got a good thing going. Yeah. I love my family. I love the career I built. I love being from a small USA American story of small business.
Right.
But something was pulling me. And this was the pivot point. In August of last summer, there were more murders. And it's on my website, my campaign website. The mayor had said that if you're hit by a stray bullet and it's not intended for you, but you're just with someone that it was intended for whatever reason, well, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. And no one held her accountable. Now that really scared me, truthfully. Like, I was scared because, if my father is on property or my brother's doing business with customers and they're hit by a stray bullet, that's the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
And, if people are visiting friends or family,
of course,
in their neighborhood, I mean, come on, that's so inhumane.
Right.
So that really lit the fire.
Okay.
So because I had been doing online entertainment throughout the pandemic with coaching and a couple online shows, which are awful. Stand-up comedy on Zoom is terrible. It just, I'm sorry. I agree. It's just not fun. It's not fun.
Well, I saw a couple things you did, Greg, though, that were very, very funny. I was telling Tom before the show, you do a wicked Pacino, and you have done some great comedy, but I will concur that doing a live Zoom anything is just awkward and weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
We live for feedback.
I'm sorry?
We live for feedback.
Yeah, I love that energy. It's that,
absolutely.
So, so at that juncture, I pulled together a couple of friends that have been in the business for over 20 years, that I've known almost my entire life, that are trustworthy, that aren't in it, but they're on the perimeter to help campaigns, so it's not polluted. I'm a positive person. Like, I've never been in a toxic relationship or grew up that way. I just don't have that. So we met late summer, and they said, are you sure of this? And I said, oh, I'm sure. I said, because that was just the most inhumane statement. And no one held her accountable. There was no press. There was the council, no one. And I really took offense to that. Yeah. So I started planning, and then started meeting with people. And then I launched in January to a really great response. And since then, I mean, I've taken this on as a full-time job.
Okay.
I put my career of 20 years on hold, and living off what I made.
Yeah.
And so it's been really, here's the great thing. It's as my team lead said, they said, look, campaigning, here's their words, ready? Campaigning sucks. Like flat out. However, what's really great is because we have deep roots in the city, is there's so many people that are willing to help and want change, because this current administration is constantly just espousing erroneous information and lies. And like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can actually, pivot and do a 180, because I feel in human nature, people want to forgive.
Okay.
So it's okay to say, look, I handled that wrong, or we could have done better. People give the benefit of the doubt, just like in stand-up, right? You hit the stage and they don't know, what the hell's going on here. And then they're going to give you the benefit. So, and I'm a big proponent of that. So I really got involved. People started coming out, and throughout winter, I Zoomed with most people. Okay. So when people were emailing me, I said, look, I'm accessible. They love that. I would get back to people within an hour.
Yeah.
And I find it difficult to where they have an administration with a team of people, but yet people are coming to me and I'm getting back to them within an hour.
Yeah.
So then it started, steamrolling. So right now, really up to speed is, you meet with everybody. I mean, I have meetings every single day, Monday through Friday. Yeah. I try to keep Sundays holy, because I'm Catholic, and I do still attend weekly mass, and it's my day off. But it's full on. The next 4 weeks in this guy's life is crucial, because this is the petition process. So I have to get signatures. I have till May 17th to get X amount of signatures. And then if I don't get bounced, because there's a lot of, sometimes they mess with you. I'm learning all these.
I bet.
They don't want to let you in the club.
No. And and here, so to that, Tom, about the club, right? So here's the thing. And here's the interesting part that has them flustered. As we all know, New York State is very blue. It's very democratic, right? Yeah. Albany, the capital, has been democratically run for 100 years this year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So, and it still has the longest tenure of the mayor, which is Mayor Corning, in U.S. history. It was just 42 years. All right.
She's been mayor for 42 years.
No, the Albany has had a mayor, Corning, that was a mayor for 42 years. It's the longest run. His run ended in late 70s.
I see.
And no, this current mayor is a 2-term, which she said she believes in term limits. So she did 2, and then was like, well, I'm going to go for a 3rd. Okay. So here's the thing. So I'm a registered independent. I registered that way when I was 18, because I wanted to work together. I don't mind working. I work with everybody. It's just in my nature. So the Democrats here, I mean, they were figuratively twisting my arm to become a Dem. And I said, no, I can't do it, because there's just too much pollution in the world, and it's just too much division. And I don't want to be beholden to a party. I truly don't. Yeah. I'd rather be beholden to the people, because this is our community.
Yeah.
The Republicans wanted to endorse me, and the Conservative Party, because they liked my values, and I respectfully declined them. Yeah. Now, that would have helped me tremendously.
The machine.
But I prayed on it, and I did, and I had a pit in my stomach. And when I finally decided to stick to my integrity of independent and work with everybody, all of that anxiety just left.
Great.
It just left. So this is where I'm at. I have a giant mountain ahead of me. Yeah. I'm not afraid of them. I hope, I said this from the get-go, if I'm not the victor, I hope I inspire people to want to get involved and create a positive mind shift. Because in this area, which is a great region, by the way, there's the entire capital region has a population of about 1 million people. There's really great people and businesses here. And I just feel they deserve better, because no one denounces the violence up here. They don't. They're playing along with this national narrative, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing, and I've got really fun team.
Good.
And we're having fun with this, like fundraisers, because I see behind Tom, your guitars, and I play guitar, drums, harmonica, and trumpet. So I saw, I was like, yes. So we're doing some great fun fundraisers coming up, and just trying to use my God-given talents for this, and just to work with everybody. So I'm sorry for that long answer.
No, I love it. You're great, and these are all the things we needed to hear, because we want our audience to know. Because our question is, how can we help you, Greg? As far as the signatures, do they have to be from Albany, or can they, what's the rule on that, getting the signatures of support?
Yes, they do. They have to be city residents. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is here's what they do with third parties.
Yeah.
They try to keep third parties out. So if COVID didn't exist, I would have had to acquire 1,500 signatures, and you usually want to get at least 2,000. Right? Because you're gonna balance them, right? So what they did, because of COVID, they cut it 2.5. So I need 667.
Okay.
But our goal is still 1,000. God bless you.
Right.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. It's a good microphone to pick up the sneeze well.
I tried to turn. There's no cough button.
That's great. It's great. Yeah, no cough button. So and that's how it works. And it's, I'll tell you something, every day, it is a full-time job. I try not to let it affect, my personal life in a way.
Sure.
I want that personal life, but I'm meeting really great people.
Good.
That they're on the edge though. They're either going to stay or they're leaving. Okay. And I mean, either leaving the city or the state.
Wow.
So I'm trying to just give inspiration at the very least. But I mean, if your audience wants to do anything, if their values jive with what they learn, from me and my website, donations are welcome from all over the country.
Great.
Absolutely.
And I would appreciate that. And I reach out to everybody. I call everyone on the phone when they donate.
No, that's great. I love
just to say hello. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry, Melinda.
No, we'll definitely share that. I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out. What can we do for you? Because Tom and I were so inspired by your story. We thought, this needs attention. More people need to hear about this. And I think that's the secret. It's not whether people disagree with you. It's a matter of letting people know that you're there and know what you're doing. Because like, according to your website, and I know you know this by heart, but I'm just going to share it anyway, of what the 5 reasons, the 5 things that you're working on. So can you share that with everybody about what the 5 points are?
Yeah, sure. So number 1 is safety, because that's going to be my whole run for everything, because that's where it really started 3 years ago. I mean, and it continues to get worse. So I'm worried about safety, 100% residents and businesses. 2, I'm a neat freak. So I'm big in cleanliness. And the streets are a mess. It's a mess. And I'm a big proponent of, because we have to take care of our property, and we own a good chunk of property. So, to take absentee landlords, no matter where they live, there's a lot of New York City landowners that just let it go up here, to hold them accountable. Also 3 is I want City Hall to be a resource for the Albany School District. Because of my, my involvement at my high school with scholarships, I want to be a resource, so if we can help them out. And also with cleanliness, because this is my motto: garbage promotes chaos and beauty promotes hope.
Oh,
And
I'm
a big promote. I promote that often because I believe in that. Number 4 is to get businesses back to Albany and the Capital District. And coming from a small business family, which is great, these cities in upstate New York and a lot of cities throughout the U.S. need industry. And it's tough in New York because of the weather, the taxes. So that's why they go to other places. And I can't blame them. I mean, they have livelihoods and families too. But try to promote that to be a more welcoming city. And number 5 is simply lift the morale of the city, because people I talk to every single day talk about how there's a lack of pride. There's no morale. No one wants to go to work. When I meet with the unions, they don't even want to go to work. I feel bad because they're so beaten down. So I want to create this happy workplace. I know I'm going to have to make hard decisions. I don't have the panacea, but for crying out loud, can we at least, we're all on the same team.
Well, I tell you this, I remember when Ronald Reagan became the president after Jimmy Carter, it was like America felt so beaten down. And just because Reagan had a great positive persona, it's like, all right, we got, there was a change of attitude in the country. And you're purporting the same thing, that, if Albany's depressed and you don't have a lot of pride, you need somebody the leadership really makes a difference and can make a difference in a city.
100%. You've got to be the mayor has to be the cheerleader.
Right.
You can't duck and cover and run, and it really all goes back to what I said before. Like we all make mistakes. Okay. We just don't want them to be fatal mistakes.
Right.
But just be transparent.
Yes.
But the more you run, the more aggravated, you pee people off. You just do.
But politicians are so nervous about admitting any mistakes because they don't want to see it in an ad campaign and whatever. So I understand it, but you're right. People are, the population is forgiving if people make a mistake. Let's reset and try it again.
100%, and stop putting your human morals aside just so you can look better or not. It's very confusing. I've noticed this. It seems like they can't get out of their own way. They make it more difficult, so you rely on them. And what people really should be irritated more about is this is your tax dollar.
Yes.
I'm like and I know, like I said, I don't have the panacea, and this has been going on in this country for hundreds of years.
Right.
But at some point, there has to be a pivot.
Yeah.
Because there's way too much division. And I'll be honest with you, because I'll tell you this. My team lead said, if you don't become a Democrat for this and you lose, in 5 years, can you look back and say, all right, I'm able to live with myself? And I said, I can answer that. Yeah, I can answer that now. And I said, yes.
Yeah.
So they wanted you to go in a primary against the existing mayor, the current mayor?
They did. A lot of the top officials that I had met with said, we have a feeling that you will beat her in the primary.
Wow.
And I said, I appreciate that. But it just keeps.
It'd be wonderful if an independent could bring everybody together. So you're not one way or the other, just automatically, how everybody's hating on everybody these days.
That's right. And what's good about, and that flusters them because I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I'm not entrenched.
Right.
I'm coming in with a business sense and just fresh eyes and just reporting back. So
is there any polling that you've got right now? Are they polling? Do you have odds? Where you're at? Too soon?
No, I don't have the polling odds yet. That, what I'm told, will be because the primary is in June.
Right.
So I think it'll become after that. But, she has a base. And some of the people that I know that are involved with the wards and everything say, you really do have a good shot. But here's the thing, to that point, okay, Tom and Melinda, is this. There's a lot of apathies in off-year elections.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, because no one really cares. They want to fix DC, but they won't fix their backyard.
Right. That's true.
And I'm like, you'll make better impact home. So here's the thing. In Albany, so in 2017, there's about 98,000 people just in the city. It's low, okay? And there's even less now.
Okay.
In that election, less than 18,000 people voted.
Wow.
So it's
a handful.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a now. That gives me a better chance.
Absolutely.
To reach those people, and I do have great endorsements, like really great people that are really affixed to the community that know us, and I'm dropping more of those tomorrow. So it's look, I'm giving it a shot.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm so excited for you because here's the thing, Greg. If we can get enough attention to you, and let's say this takes off and you win the election, you'll open doors for other independents that always thought they couldn't. There always needs to be that first person that can open the door and do those things because people are usually followers, not leaders. So if you can do that, more power to you, and you could be the trendsetter, right?
Yeah, I hope to, because so to that point, in Syracuse, there's a mayor. He's younger than me.
Okay.
He's going for his second term, and he won as an independent.
Okay.
I love it.
There you go.
People are weary.
I'm sorry?
People are weary of the battling between R&D.
It's too much. And you know what? When people come back to me, Tom and Melinda, this is all I come back to after I talk with meetings. I said, about Republicans and Democrats, and I say, no, I'm independent. Do you know why? Number one, my point is safety. Number two, stray bullets don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat.
Absolutely.
They don't care.
Right.
They'll hit you. So that's my platform, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it.
No, that's so good. So Greg, how can we help you? We're definitely going to get the word out because we want everybody to know about you. We're so excited that you're taking a stand. You're doing something a lot of people talk about but never do. It's a lot. And so super proud of you. How can we help you?
Well, people can learn about my campaign, my platform, my history, my family's history by going to gregformayor2021.com.
Okay.
And everything's there. Drop me an email. And that's another thing. I'm getting emails from people throughout the country.
Nice.
And it's really nice. It's really nice. Really great people. So that always helps. And obviously like donations because it's a machine and I have a lean budget. I mean, my family, we're not millionaires. Yeah. The current mayor is a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Oh yeah. Alone. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really helpful because
no,
it's not relatable on any stretch. And I get, that here's what I'm hoping will work in your favor, Greg, is that the world's in a different place right now, right? A lot of people are home. They're paying attention to politics more than they ever have before. Things are very much out of control. And I think it feels more personal now than it ever has before.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it's very personal to me, but I'm trying to keep it as a business. Okay. Right. So have not that, but it is personal because it does come back. Look, it all stemmed 3 years ago.
I love it.
I asked people to show up. You didn't show up.
I love it.
Stray bullets. But so I appreciate that. Hey, can we do now can I help you guys out?
Yes, of course.
So can we get the screen to make it so we can take a screen? Could you take a screenshot and send it to me? For some reason, I can't get a screenshot.
Oh, no, I'll do that. Not a problem.
Is that cool? And then I'd love to promote the show. And then you guys let me know when it's going to be on. And hopefully that can turn some eyes and ears your way too.
We'll publish this today before 5:00.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on YouTube and iTunes. And then, we let our circles of people know. And especially now that we feel like this is very topical and really important. And I love to see someone with passion that's just trying to do the right thing. And you're not letting people with money motivate you, which is so refreshing to see. Yeah. And I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen with this. So we couldn't be more pleased to help and support you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. Melinda, it was good to see your great face again. And Tom, it's just a thrill. You guys got a good thing going on.
All right, we'll come back after you win. We'll talk comedy.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, he's very modest about his comedy, but I will say right off the bat, when Tom started, how many years have you been doing it now, Tom?
Gosh, I'm embarrassed to say 6 years now.
Don't be embarrassed.
MCing.
You're doing something people would never try. So there you go. And Tom started, as soon as he went out there, people started asking him to host. He's won competitions. So I can toot his horn for him because he's very modest. But how do you do the screenshot? What do we need to do? Is that
YouTube? I've got the screenshot set up. Okay. I can take 100 screenshots. Not a problem.
Perfect. All right. Is there any kind of a thing you want to do, Greg, for the screenshot?
No, just smile. Oh, like one of those. Yeah. Yeah. Like this guy.
T-shirt you can hold up. Oh, here we go.
I do actually.
I have a T-shirt. Yeah. Do you have?
I have a whole backdrop.
Oh my gosh. We have to.
I have a whole backdrop over. Why? Is this going to mess it up if I move my laptop?
No, do whatever you like.
I'll show you what I have. So this is my
show us what you have.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Right. And then actually you can go to my website and there's merchandise available. I do sell shirts and masks as well.
Yeah, we'll post that.
Oh, good. We'll do that. And then so if I'm over asking, let me know, Greg, but Tom has never heard your Pacino.
Wow.
Would you consider just doing a little, I'm sure people ask you all the time because you're just ridiculously good at it. Do you get tired of people asking you to do Pacino?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, it's if people ask and it's the right, situation, I'll do it. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. So let's see. What's the official name though? Forgive me of your podcast because I never got that.
Well, you can do our podcast, but you could also do an endorsement for you for running for mayor.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is Al Pacino endorsing Greg Aidala and also Tom Wise and Melinda McKinsey's podcast.
Unpacking shit.
Oh, actually, we'll do this. Yeah, how's it going? Tom and Melinda, you're good people. Thanks for having me on. Greg Aidala, he's running for mayor. of Albany. Let's get him in office. Hoo-ha. That's so ridiculous.
I love it. I love it. I rarely bring up the horn.
So good.
Oh, nice.
Some home shopping days.
Thank you so much for doing that, Greg. I hope I didn't ask too much, but that was perfect.
That was not at all. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks, Greg. Nice meeting you. Good luck.
No, nice meeting you. You guys were a lot of fun. And you guys want to ever do this again, I'd jump back on and we'll talk comedy and what it's great. Thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it.
And we'll be back in touch. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Okay. You too. Bye, Greg.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I mean, so Tom, how fantastic is this guy?
Oh, that was great.
I love that someone just wants to make things better.
No doubt about it, because you get weary of the Republicans and Democrats all wanting you to be in their tent. No. Vote for yourself. Vote for your own best interest. Who gives a shit about your red or blue?
We really got to get through this Republican Democrat bullshit. It's working against us on so many levels. I don't like the feeling of you're this or you're that, because I don't think any of us really are. And I love that he's brave enough to run as an independent, because we all know how tough that's going to be. Not getting endorsements.
Absolutely. God, good luck. It's hard, but it can happen. You can't, especially those numbers aren't that daunting. He's looking for 18,000 people voted, so he's looking for 10,000 votes.
We gotta find some ways. So we'll share the information. I'm very excited to let people know about Greg, to see. You never know, somebody who knows somebody who knows
absolutely
people in Albany. So
write a check, send $10 his way. That's fine. That's
absolutely
nice. I mean, I've done that with I threw money at Kentucky and threw money down in South Florida for people I cared about. Not a lot of money, but if everybody throws in $5, it makes a difference. He's running an ad. His ad budget isn't going to be that much.
And I'm so glad you said that, Tom, because I think a lot of people are confused by what a donation means, right? Like, I don't have that kind of money. Honestly, $5 or $10 makes a difference. Like you said, if everybody does it, that's all you have to do. You don't have to feel obligated to do any more than that.
I mean, Facebook ads aren't all that expensive. You're running an ad for $10 a day in Albany. That means you can get a lot of zip codes, a lot of press. That's a good idea. It's easy, but you need a little bit of cash to seed it and get some more things flowing and get your message out. I wanted to talk to him a bit more about specific ideas, perhaps, but I like the idea that he's, you got to have businesses in your area that are staying and not fleeing, And I think it's so important, just the attitude of the city, having the place clean, that rolls one way is the same way it rolls the other way. It's easy to have the entropy to let things get shitty. Oh, someone left a tire. Let me abandon a refrigerator here. Let me do something else. All of a sudden the place looks like hell. No. The city's going to collect all this stuff. The city's going to incentivize businesses to stay with tax incentives. The city's going to give, some sort of incentives to the local residents, maybe to more ownership, but cheaper loans, become vested in the city.
Yeah, I love his points. That's why when you go to his website, he's got videos and everything, but everything that
I agree.
Oh, everything he talks about, like safety, cleanliness, the graduation rate, inviting businesses in and boosting the morale throughout the city is all just like the foundation of what you need to succeed. He's getting, like he said, don't put paint on the rust. I loved when he said that.
You know what? That's funny because I used that analogy a long time ago when we talked about how you saw a lot of folks were suppressed. They suppressed their prejudice because it became illegal to become prejudiced. So now during the previous administration, that prejudice was allowed to flourish a little bit. And we had painted over the prejudice with by forcing them, but now they were allowed. The rust was coming through the paint.
Yeah, that is so true.
It's a very good analogy, I think.
It's so good that he's running as an independent, so he's not beholden to what either party is saying. You must represent this. Right. I love that.
No, good luck. It's a tough road to hoe.
I'm really excited to share this. What would you like to wrap with today, sir?
Today's Friday already?
Today is Friday. Are there any holidays? What's going on? Yesterday was if you're an independent contractor, it was time to pay your
TAX.
Well, yeah, why can't I think of the word? Your estimated tax. Your estimated tax was due. The IRS did push back the date till May 17th for the actual. So that was a big day, a sad day for people that have to pay estimated tax.
A sad day. You know what? Here's the deal, though. We collect that money, the tax, so we can do some good. And we're watching the pandemics being handled. I mean, without the government, the pandemic would wipe out a third of the country.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So that tax money is doing you some good. Nobody's asking you for $8 for a shot. It's free. By the way, they're going to have troubles getting to that 40, 50%. Folks aren't taking the shot.
Why?
Because there's people who are nervous about the shot to begin with. Then the Johnson & Johnson thing just happened, which is very rare. I mean, literally 1 in a million.
How that was going to affect the numbers overall. Because
people are canceling appointments all over the country.
I mean, I have to say, I get it. I do get it, right? I mean, if they're canceling, is it just because they want to try to get a Pfizer or Moderna, or they're just like, I'm out now?
Who knows what.
Okay.
You know, once that switch flips, it's like a woman. Once she decides that it's over, it's over.
When we're done, we're done. Who are you? You don't even exist anymore.
There's no, as Paul McCartney said, there's no reheating that souffle.
That is a real.
But the Johnson & Johnson was preferred because it could go into smaller rural areas without the refrigeration requirements and things like that.
Yeah.
It's literally Johnson & Johnson. It's literally 1 in a million. I mean, it's tragic one person has died from the Johnson & Johnson, and 6 women have had blood clots from it. And it's not an easy fix, but they're on it. So,
well, I'm hoping from what I understood from Fauci is he said it's just a few weeks, right? Just a few weeks of trying to figure some things out.
Yeah. They're probably going to re-release it. I mean, but the numbers even say to take the shot. The numbers are, if 2 people out of 100 who get the COVID, 2 out of 100 that get it will be dead.
No, that's bad.
The number is 1.8.
That's bad.
Okay? That's bad. Whereas with the Johnson & Johnson, it's literally 1 woman out of 1 million. That's a real number, got a blood clot, and then 1 woman out of 7 million died. It's all tragic. But the other numbers are, you're 2 out of 100.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I have talked about this before. If it's something we've learned during the pandemic, is people overall aren't that open-minded to learning. They're not. They're very set and they're very opinionated, whether they have facts or not. They're firm.
I agree. But it's scary to think that you put yourself in a situation where you may cause yourself harm. I'm going to step up, take a shot that has even a remote chance of killing me, a super unbelievably remote chance of killing me, versus I'm in the car. Well, guess what? 600 people are going to get killed in car accidents today in America, but you're driving your car where, there's a disconnect for where the real math is, real risk is.
Are you doing anything exciting this weekend?
I tell you, I am.
Yes.
So my middle brother, it's me, then my brother Jimmy, then my brother Patrick. Okay, yes. That's how all of us, again, like our guest, I'm one of 8 as well. We're Irish Catholics from Chicago.
Yeah.
And so Jimmy decided he was going to come up this weekend. Oh. And then all of a sudden my sisters decided they're coming. And then Jimmy's kids decided, the girls who live in Miami and one in New York, they're coming. And then my other brother, retired brother, and his wife said, well, we're coming too. So we're going to have everybody down here.
Where's everybody staying?
That's what we want to talk to you about. No, Nancy's got one of those Mercedes Benz. She's loaded.
Nancy. Oh, Nancy.
Her husband's a judge. Retired. He was working 5 days a week. How many checks can he get from the government? Is what I want to know. Anyway, he's got one of those Mercedes outfitted vans that with beds in there. I want one. I'm going to take that damn thing. I'm going to Brooklyn. I'll pick you up, and then where we're going to go. Oh my gosh,
I want one of those. Well, so that'll be exciting. I'll be excited to hear till your family said hello. I'll be excited to hear how that goes.
I think we're going to do the horse racing thing on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's this weekend. I do want to let people know if they have you heard of Maria Bamford?
Yes, that's Matt Davis's favorite.
She is my favorite as well. And she is doing an online comedy show tomorrow night that I bought tickets for. So if anybody...
Greg says those are horrible. Okay.
Here's what she's doing. I've only seen her live twice in my lifetime, and both times she's exceeded expectations. She's so off the cuff and funny and very self-deprecating in such a healthy, funny way. She is doing a fundraiser for a woman's shelter. Tickets are only $10. And she says, if you want to watch the show and you can't afford it, you can email her at her Pig Latin name, and she'll give you a code so you can watch it for free. She said, you've got to make a little bit of effort, at least email me, and I'll let you watch it for free, because she's raising money for a women's shelter, but it's a pajama party. She's doing an hour show. All the cameras are going to stay on for the pajama party.
I love it.
I don't know what's going to happen, but she's hilarious. She invites people when you sign on. She asks you
That's wonderful.
to like talk to her and stuff. So if anybody wants to do an online event this weekend, tomorrow night is the Maria Bamford show. You can just go to Maria Bamford Comedy and watch that.
I saw an old lady show yesterday at Side Splitters. All ladies.
You know what I thought you said? It sounded like you said, I watched an old lady show.
I watched an old lady show.
All ladies.
All lady. They brought in the MC was an all lady, and then the middle and the host, the headliner.
And how great was it? How great was it?
A lot of sex talk, a lot of sexy fun talk. It was a fun show, very fun show. And they were young. I think the headliner was 29. She said, I'm going to be 30 next year. I go, wow, she's young to be headlining.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. I said, I've had it with the old white guys. Let's go see something fresh.
Did you learn anything, Tom? Did you learn anything from the ladies?
The headliner was a bisexual.
And?
You know what? It's very interesting because they have a Los Angeles vibe, which was kind of not playing to us country folks here in Tampa. Okay. You know, like we couldn't relate to a lot of the liberal whatever. You could see that, this is happening in Los Angeles, but it really doesn't not to be like somebody complaining about the subway system in New York when you're doing a gig in Tampa. It's like, we don't get subways, we don't have subways, we're imagining subways, we've seen them on movies, but we're not living that life.
Sure.
Oh, the subways, don't get me started. Well, hey, let me do 20 minutes on subways.
Do you feel like it was a conservative audience, or
the audience was a little small? It was a Thursday night. They're not going to pack the place out, but no, everybody, it was fun show, a lot of energy. And it's
great.
It's very interesting. They were very high energy performing, right?
Yes.
And I could see that in a bigger crowd, or in a bit more energy from the crowd, that the act outs that they performed would get a little bit more, would be a little, get a little bit more positive response. I think people are kind of they sit on their hands a little bit sometimes, but it was fun. Good.
Did they acknowledge that during the show? Like, hey, is my mic working? Did they do anything?
No, you know what? And I like when they don't. Let's ever forward. We're moving forward. Like telling the crowd that they're small, or telling the crowd that they're not laughing or responding. I've never seen that trick work.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves when you see that a comic is starting to suck some air, which we've all done, right? We've all had those moments. Just keep moving on, because when you acknowledge it, then everybody's uncomfortable. Yeah. Everybody's miserable, and nobody goes to a comedy show to be miserable.
You could make, I'm not telling any comics what to do, but you could make a general statement like, we only got 9 more minutes to get through this together, or something, like, but we're doing this together. It's not me versus you. It's us trying to get through this. Hey, I'm required to be here for 9 more minutes.
Yeah. No, I've seen I saw a comedian was trying out new material at the Comedy Cellar, and they were saying something and it didn't go, and they go, hey, they're not all gyms, all right?
Right. Oh no, I love it. The biggest laugh I got when I did the open mic 2 weeks ago was, who writes this shit? Because one joke after the other wasn't working. Everybody laughed hard at that.
Yeah, that is a good one. That's a good one. Well, thanks everyone for watching Unpacking Some Shit with Wise and McKinsey. I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise. I'd like to thank Greg Aidala, the future mayor of Albany, New York, for joining us.
Go, Greg, go.
And I recommend him and endorse him, and we'll be sending a little cash in his way, and we'll put all that information on the website.
Yes, that sounds great.
All right. And that's another one in the can. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'm looking up, not to Jesus, but to the recording button and on my computer.